Welcome to Bite-Sized Catechism. Join us and learn our Catholic faith, a nibble at a time.
This is brought to you by Young Catholics PH.
Hello and good evening. This is Joby Provido and you are on Bite-Sized Catechism. And tonight we are going to talk about the topic, God created humankind. And so for the last week, we ended with the angels, God creating the angels. And then the angels fell from grace because some of them did not want to obey God. And we said that love was obedience was the way to show love, no? And so now we move on now to the other part of creation, which is humankind, no? So we have the universe and we also have humankind, no? As part of it is a primordial event that happened, and God created humankind. And so when we go to understand this, God created humankind with a body and soul. So there are two components in a human, no? A body, the physical, no? We have a physical a part component, and we also have our soul, no? Which is a spirit. So we have a spiritual part. So humankind was meant to be a creature that has both body and spirit at the same time, okay, for all of eternity. We have stones, no, that don't have the way that Saint Thomas Aquinas explains it. It's the spirit that gives life. It's the spirit that animates, no. So, for example, we have stones or boulders that don't have any spirit, and therefore they're not capable of thinking. They're not capable of loving. No? And then we now have animals. No? Let's go to plants first. Let's go to plants. Plants, they also have a spirit, which allows them activity that is how do you call this? They react, no, to stimulus. Okay, so for example, I don't know if you did it when you were in grade school, that you plant a seed and then we find that the seed, the leaves, no, the plant is going towards the sun. No? So they react to stimulus. Then we have our dogs. No, they have basically a higher way of living, no? So they can ask for food. Sometimes they'll beg you for food. They can show emotion sometimes, no? And so we are seeing that creation has different levels of spirit, no? And then we have humans, that we are both body and spirit. And then we have the angels, who are pure spirit. See? So you can see that there is this hierarchy, no, of beings, no, from pure spirit. And then we have now humans that are body and spirit. And then we have now animals, and then plants. And then we have now rocks, no, minerals, whatever, that don't have any spirit at all. Okay? So since we have a spirit, we have to tie this up with our first episode when we said a spirit can know, love, and will. And so that's the reason why humans know, love, and will. It's because of the spirit, not because of the body. No, the body is matter, and as we said also in one of our episodes, no, matter comes from matter. Matter cannot create something that is not material. Okay, so matter cannot think, matter cannot love, no, matter cannot will. That's the same that a stone, no, cannot love, know, and will, no. And so whenever we think, no, whenever we know things, whenever we love things or will things, so it's coming from our spirit. Okay, so now we might be used to talking in technical or scientific terms, now that we say, you know, I'm using my brain to think. No, the brain is there, yes, but the spirit is using the brain. No, so for example, I'm willing. No, I'm willing my hand to move right now. No, um, it's my spirit that is telling my brain, okay, move the hand, and then the brain is now sending electrical impulses to my hand to move. Okay, so that's the way, the spirit is working, is animating, that anima, is animating the body. Okay, and so it's very interesting, no? Toward the end, and the crucifixion, when our Lord is about to die, his last moments on earth, as alive on earth, no, before he dies, no, the Gospels say that he gave up his breath, no. So how wonderful that breath in Latin is spirit, spiritus, no, and in Greek it's pneuma, no. So the spirit that our Lord, he's going to die already, and so he gives up his spirit. No more, his body now does not have any more a spirit, doesn't have any more life, no. So we can see now this close association of the spirit and life. It's the spirit that gives life. Okay. And you think about it, no. At the end of our life, no, our body, our soul separates from our body, no, and but we have this, the spirit goes to heaven, hell, or purgatory, no, and it's knowing things. It's loving. It can still love God, no. It can still love others. It can also will, no, and so. How can that be? How can a person who is separated from his body know love and will without the body? And that's because it is the spirit that does all of these things. Okay, let's remember that. Now, one of the things that's beautiful that God allowed us to do is to be co-creators with Him. So we have now, when bride and bridegroom come together to consummate their marriage, or to do the marital act, no, and a woman conceives, no, the parents, no, a sperm will fertilize an egg, and then that becomes the new body of that person, and then God, no, so humans contribute the body. Okay, humans contribute the body, but humans cannot make a spirit, because, as we said, matter can only come from matter. No, we cannot create things that are the body, no, which is a what they call this, is made out of material things, cannot create something that is not but matter, no, that is immaterial. So it is God who creates the spirit for a new person. Okay, creates a soul for this new person. Okay, so when a baby is conceived, when a person is conceived in a mother, the parents contribute the body, but God creates a soul for that body. Okay, so if there's anybody who tells you, no, that that's not a baby, that's not a human, no, the way that we will define a human being is that a human being has a body and a soul, and therefore by that definition, no, an egg, a human egg cell, fertilized by a sperm cell, no, and God creating a soul for that is already a person. That's already a human being. Okay. Okay. So we come to know that is the second subtopic of God creating human. We always hear that we hear that we were made in the image and likeness of God. Now, what does that mean? No, so because our spirit is not like the spirit of an animal, not like the spirit of a plant. No, we have a special spirit called the soul. no? And it is made in, and that is how we are made in the likeness, the image and likeness of God. Our spirit, our soul, has an intellect superior to the animals, superior to plants. No, it also has a dignity. No, we are all special. No, to God. He knows us by name. He knows. If you remember, he knows the number of hairs on our head. We don't even know that. No, but he knows it because he is very intimate with us. He knows us intimately. Okay, that's a better way of saying that. So, another way that we can understand that we are made in the image of likeness of God is that we look like God. No? And what does that mean? That means that God considers us as His children. No? Because children look like their parents. No? Who else will they look like? No? Except for their parents. So when we say we are made in the image and likeness of God, then God considers us His sons and daughters. Okay? And so that is how God considered Adam and Eve, no? That he was, that they were his son and his daughter. Okay, and when they would have children, no, this nature that they have, no, that God gave them, would be passed down from generation to generation. Okay, that's the way that God planned it. Okay, and the last thing that we have to touch on, because it's going to set the tone for for a very important topic, no, in the next few weeks. Okay, is that God blew life into Adam. Okay, so we read in Genesis that God formed Adam out of the soil, out of earth. Okay, and in Hebrew, Adama, no, means soil, no, mud, and so it's a play of words that Adam is really from the earth, and he was lifeless. Adam was lifeless, and God blew life into the nostrils of Adam. So the Bible scholars, no, like to point out that God, we have things living, no, the creatures that are flying in the air, the creatures that are under the sea, okay, the plants, no, God made them all alive, okay, but He never blew His spirit, no. He gave them a spirit, but He never blew His spirit on them. And so here we interpret that when God blew His life into Adam, He divinized humankind. He wanted humankind to have the Spirit of God. He wanted us to live His divine life. Okay? And that is number one in the Catechism. If you look at the Vatican Catechism, the Roman Catechism, number one, God in His sheer goodness, no, created us to share in His divine life. And so this is where we get it from Genesis, that God blew His life into us so that we may share, His divine life. Okay? Now, there are some complications. No, you might ask, so how can that be, no? That we will share His divine life forever, no? God planned that forever. If our body, no, is like this, it grows old, no. So how can that be, no? And so the next topic that we're going to discuss next week is how God planned all of this to be, how He planned that we would live forever with Him. Okay. So for today, we have to remember that we are made of physical material, no, our body, and we are made of of spirit also. Okay, and those two were joined by God in us as a creature, and He intended that we would live like that forever. Okay, and that's a very, very important point. And we are going to meet this again in 2 or 3 weeks, no? When we discuss the fall of humankind, no? The disobedience of Adam and Eve. No? And that gets exciting because we learn so much of why we are of our condition today, why we are suffering, no, why we have to die, etc. Okay, so that would be a really interesting episode to watch, no. And so another takeaway from tonight is that we are meant to be children of God. No, we are made in His likeness and image and likeness, and so He considers us as His children, okay, as sons and daughters. And since we are His sons and daughters, no, we are meant to live the divine life, the Trinitarian life. We are meant for that. Okay, but something along the way went wrong, and that's what we're going to discuss in the next few episodes. And so that's it for tonight. Before we go, I'd like to share with you. Let's see now. I'd like to share with you that my 4 books are now available on Lazada, so you might get them there. No, 100 Things Every Catholic Should Know, Typology for Beginners, A Sky Full of Stars, Know Our Lady Through Her Titles, and Beyond the Veil, no? Contemplating the Mysteries of the Rosary. And so when you search for these books on Lazada, no, you can type the title and add the word paperback, no, so that you can find it easily. Or you can just go to this website. Let me just write it down. Okay, let me just check this if it's correct. Okay, this one. So you can go to this one. There. Go to this website, kindlings.press, and then you can see all the books there, and then you can choose how you want to buy them. No, there is a Kindle version on Amazon. There's a hardbound version on Amazon. The paperback is also available on Amazon, and it's also available on Lazada. So take a look at it and see. On kindlings.press, you can see a lot of details, no, of the books. There are excerpts there that you might want to look at. There are images of what the table of content looks like. So you can browse part of the book. No? Same thing with Amazon. If you go to Amazon, if you've been shopping there, you know that you can look at the excerpts, no, in the first free page, and then it skips, no. So you can have a good idea of what the book is about. Okay, so I shall say good night and goodbye, and I shall see you, and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.
We're super happy you could join us. We hope to see you again next episode with your mugs, snacks, and questions.
Good night.